But you will see more and more people in the West, or what we call the West, trying to go into alternative systems that are more independent, that are unconfiscable, that are uncensored, and that are totally decentralized. So if you go into there, you would think, in principle, of course, we have to see, but in principle, you would think that you'd be safe of having your wealth taken away by a political decision.
So our Fed policy affects the entire world, every country in the world.
Definitely.
But it affects El Salvador directly and immediately in the same way it affects us, because you trade in the US dollar.
Yes, a little worse, because we do get all the devaluation and we get all the inflation, but we get none of the spending. So, yeah, so
you can't print it.
We can't print it. Yeah, you can print the US dollars.
Very good point.
Yeah.
So you have a PhD in the downside of Fed policy, I think.
Well, not a I understand.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
the concept.
Yeah, you have to run a country that's subject to it. Yeah. And so you've chosen a new path very famously. Tell us what you've done and why.
Well, we haven't changed the fundamentals of our economy just because you don't change the fundamentals of an economy from one day to another, because that would be very messy.
Yes.
Even if you do things right, it would be messy, and you don't want mess, right? Yeah. You want things to grow, you want the economy to grow, you want people to be happy, you don't want people to, the economy to do well, you want your country to do well. So we're doing small steps to change some things and to give people different options. We're not changing everything right away, but we're giving people different options. So we made Bitcoin legal tender. We're the only country in the world where Bitcoin is legal tender. I mean, Bitcoin is used all over the world, even in countries where it is banned, just because you can't ban it. I mean, it's uncensorable. You can't, even if you want to censor it, you can't.
Yes.
But the only country in the world where Bitcoin is legal tender is El Salvador. That gives us an advantage in the new economic system that's in the works. And we have had some benefits from it. We have increased tourism by 95%, and that's in part because of Bitcoin. There's a lot of Bitcoiners that want to go to the only country where Bitcoin is legal tender. We have Bitcoin conferences, etc. So we're getting a lot of tourism for it. We're getting a lot of private investment also, because there are some people escaping, the censorship, or they're trying to escape the laws, trying to ban this new technology. So they go into countries that are more open to these technologies, and of course they would go to a country that is not only open, but has actually embraced the currency as its own. So we get a lot of investment, we'll get a lot of tourism, and the other thing we get is that we get some rebranding. Because El Salvador, if a lot of people don't know anything about El Salvador, but if some people know something about El Salvador, it would be bad things like MS-13,
yes,
right, or the Civil War in the 80s. Of
course.
But if you're, if you're a Bitcoiner, or if you're into technology, or into new economic systems, or into unconfiscable wealth, then you will listen and you will learn about El Salvador in a different light. We have a project of building a new city. We're mining Bitcoin with the power of volcanoes. So these types of things are not only projects that are very important for the development of our country, but they're also a rebrand. It's also a rebranding. A rebranding that will probably cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and for us it will cost nothing, because it's just making bold and good decisions, and people will like them. So
people will like them, but then our current economic system has a lot of stakeholders.
Oh, they hate it, yeah.
They hate it. Who hates it?
Well, the IMF, the World Bank, the Fed. And most of the, if not all of the economic publications, you name it, Bloomberg, CNBC, Financial Times, Forbes, we have got a lot of bad press and fake news and FUD, like FUD, like Bitcoiners call it, from this financial publications. They will print lies, You know, there's something special about lies is that they don't last for long. They don't last long. So when people realize that these things don't make any sense, or they see from themselves the difference, like you, for example, you have gone 3 times to El Salvador in different,
Yes.
In different times, and so they see things into a different light, and they see reality. So you know, reality always imposes itself over lies, just because it's real. So it's easier to uphold it, or it's easier to show it or to demonstrate it's true.